We're about halfway there, heading into week 8. I'm Dustin, welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. Plenty to talk about this week. Before we get into it though, DraftKings, you got a few days left to sign up and get your free Smack Talk shirt. Just sign up, deposit $5 or more using the promo code FST or follow the link in the card in the description. DraftKings will give you entry into a free cash game, and we'll send you a t-shirt. Everyone likes a t-shirt. If you've been saving that number one waiver or some fab money, now's the week, because you have plenty of options. Now, again, this is just the portion of the list. If you want to see the full list, get onto the website. Can't talk about everyone, but plenty of running backs to talk about. The first one, and if you dropped Charkandrick West after his first game that he started, I'm sorry. It was all signs were pointing that he was, going to be decent. And he had a terrible first game, but week 7 he looked really good. I do expect him to be somewhat inconsistent, but, after we saw what he did week 7, you got to pick him back up. He's only on 65% of leagues. He's still out there in a lot of leagues. Must add. He's definitely, out of everyone on this list, he's the one to go after the most. Close second, I would say, surprisingly, Darren McFadden. I still think Christine Michael can factor in there. Randall, we'll see what happens once he's healthy. But as of right now, McFadden's the one with the most value out there. Will it last? Who knows? But you got to think about picking this guy, or you got to pick this guy up if he's available in your league, just because he looked great, and if he is healthy, he can still do it. Lots of running backs. James Starks is next. Had a bye week 7, so a lot of people didn't pick him up. But he's still right there in the mix with Eddie Lacy. We'll see. I think Lacy definitely has a chance of winning that job back now that he's had a couple weeks to get healthy, and I do think we will see more of the Lacy of old. But just in case we don't, the upside for Starks is too high to leave him on the wire. Another must-add in all leagues, Alfred Blue. All you Arian Foster owners, I'm sorry, it's a tough break. Blue is decent. Polk might factor in there as well, but Blue's the one to pick up. And going from Foster to Blue is a very sad downgrade for all the Foster owners out there. But if you can get Blue, you got to try to get him, because he's still going to be at least a flex option for you each week, because there will be some weeks where he'll get decent volume. Carlos Williams is the guy I wanted to talk about. The Bills have a bye week 8, and I think he might get dropped in some leagues. He's already been dropped he's only on 35% of leagues right now, currently. He had an amazing start to the year, but he's been injured. He should be back after their bye. So if you're looking for just a high upside running back to add to your bench, I think he's definitely a guy that should be owned in all leagues as we head into next week. And then I did want to talk about 2 running backs I think are worth looking at in deeper leagues. Orleans Darkwa is very interesting, I think. You have all these guys that I think are must-adds in all leagues. But Darkwa's interesting. He could end up having the most value out of everyone, but you can't call him must-add in all leagues just because it's a 4-headed monster out there with the Giants. But Jennings is old. Williams has never been all that great, and Vereen's more the passing down guy. I think Darkwa could be the guy that emerges, and it really tells me something that they're willing to give him that many carries, week 7, that they have some confidence in him and they think that this guy can do something. So I think he's a sneaky ad. I think he's someone that you should definitely try to get on your team in deeper leagues. And then Andrews for Tennessee. That running back situation is a mess as well. A lot of messy running back situations going on, but Andrews has the most value out of everybody, and I do think moving forward, he's the one that's going to get the bulk of the carries, but it's still not that exciting of an offense to own the running back for. So that's the running backs. Receivers, Stephon Diggs, the guy's for real. They're targeting him a ton. You got to pick this guy up. Huge upside for this rookie. Devontae Adams got dropped in a lot of leagues, only on 60% of leagues. He's going to come back. He's healthy now. He's had his bye week. And here's the thing. You look at James Jones. James Jones is going to take all the value from Adams. James Jones, I think, has only been targeted in the high 20s so far the whole season. I think he's had like 28 targets, but he's had 6 touchdowns. It's clear what his role is. I think, with Adams coming back, he hurts Montgomery more than Jones. I think Jones' role doesn't really change that much. And there's a reason why Adams was drafted in the early middle rounds. This guy he's good. He's a more overall versatile receiver, I feel, and I do think he will go right back into having value. You need to pick this guy back up. And then Rashard Matthews for the Dolphins. The guy's only owned in 50% of leagues, and he's having an amazing year. The fantasy world needs to stop disrespecting this guy. He's legit. Parker is going to not play very much as long as Matthews is playing as well as he's playing. I mean, it doesn't make sense for them to try to force Parker in there. If the Dolphins are winning and Matthews is playing well, he's out on the field. So don't worry about Parker. And then in deeper leagues, Stevie Johnson got off to a decent start, then he got hurt, but he's healthy again, and I do think he's worth picking back up. He's got a decent amount of targets so far this year. He's getting involved. I don't think he really blows up much this season, but I do think he will be a consistent guy, especially in PPR leagues. Quarterback for you, Derek Carr. You know, for so many years, you just kind of write off the Oakland quarterback, you write off all the Oakland receivers, sometimes the Oakland running back, but you can't do that anymore. The Raiders, they have that offense headed in the right direction. You know, they've added some pieces through the draft and through free agency, and Carr has looked good, and he's quietly having a really good year, and I think the fantasy world needs to take notice. Only on 40% of leagues. I'm not ready to put him in the QB1 conversation, but he's getting really close for me. Tight end Jordan Reed, story's simple with him. If he's healthy, he's producing, but the guy's never healthy. But it's time to pick him back up. Amazing week 7 for this guy. Instantly right back in the tight end 1 discussion. I don't normally put kickers on this list, but McManus is coming off of his bye. He got dropped in a lot of leagues, only on in 60% of leagues right now. And the Broncos have the mix of what you're looking for a kicker. An offense that can move the ball but stalls in the red zone. And that has been the Broncos all year. And you gotta like that he kicks in Denver so that he gets a little bit of that thinner air. So McManus, if he was dropped, I would even consider using somewhat of a waiver number on him. I mean, I wouldn't go crazy, but this is a guy that will probably start for you the rest of the year, so that's worth something. And then my pick up and play defense, I'm going with Atlanta. They've been solid. They're at home week 8 against Tampa Bay. I like them as a pick up and play. Should be a safe 8 to 10 point play with some upside. Lots to talk about this week. It was a busy week on the wire, so make sure to get all your claims in. If you got any questions, go ahead and post them in the forums. Brent is out of town. He is on vacation this week, so you'll be getting a lot of just me, but we will be back later in the week with more shows, so be sure to check those out. Good luck on the waiver wire.